So when Silvina asked me to talk about the Violentometro, I said, oh, okay. I know the Violentometro, it's very famous now in the university. In my university, it was distributed as a book marker. And also we have a banner, a huge banner in our almost every building in our university. So I was thinking, what can I say about more beyond that? So I'm going to give some data. I'm not going to go into details. You will see that there is a lot of information. So just I want to share and let you know all the things we have. Well, not all the things, but some uh, aspect of what has been done in Mexico about this. So let's see. No. Puedo hacerlo con links. No. ¿Qué es lo que no te funciona? Dice que el keyboard no puede. No avanza. Está, a ver, press the keyboard to the right of the shift key. No, it's not working. No. Si salís de mostrar, no. Si salís de esto, de mostrar. Yo creo que sí. Pero puedo hacerlo así. Sí. ¿Te parece que es muy...? Pero que no. ¿Qué pasó? Se bloqueó. No lo acepta, no acepta el keyboard. Ajá, entonces no lo instaló. Ok, entonces lo saco. Sí. No, pero está... Pero es que yo ya lo saco de acá. Ahí está. No, but I'm moving with this. Okay. Sí. Ahí anduvo. Okay. Okay. So we have a general law about access for the women access to women for a life free of violence. And I apologize, this is written in Spanish, but I didn't have the time to translate it. So the first thing is that they define precisely what is the difference or what is the action, like sexual harassment or acoso sexual. The first one is related to power, someone with power, and the second one is not necessarily about power. So some data I found interesting. There was a survey about the dynamical relations in the families. So you can see here the kind or the different kinds of violence. It can be emotional, or it can be economical, or discrimination in the workplace, physical violence, or sexual violence. And this is for women of 15 years old and more or older. So you see that the figure 66% at least have suffered one incident of this kind of violence, which is a very, very high rate. And the most frequent is the emotional violence for women. Okay, so now there are here two data about alone the whole life and during the last year. So that can be in the school, in the workplace, in the community, families, or with your partner. And the highest are for this one, in the part, your couple, yeah. And then in the community. Also in the school, we have a similar, the long life or last years, and the physical is has the highest rate, as you can see. Sexual in second place, and the emotional, the second place. Who is the offender in the school. So the classmates.
School means what? Like high school?
Whatever, because it's for 15 years older on older, so it can be university or high school and things like that. So it's not there's no difference. So you see that the classmate, a female classmate, is has the higher rate. This one is the last year and then along the life. And the second place, female classmate. Then the teacher, someone out of the school, another person in the school, and this is male teacher and female teacher, or a worker, whatever, the director, or a female teacher. So the classmates are the main offender, male offender. Now, in the workplace, you will see that the most important kind of violence is discrimination with these high rates. Again, this is along the whole life, and this is for the last year. In the second place, we have the sexual, then the emotional, and then the physical uh, aggression. And this is very interesting, why they don't how do you say the nouns? Demand or complain about this in a legal way. So in the school, most of them is because they think it's not important. So it's just a minor problem, so they won't complain about this. In the workplace, also, in the community, and in the familiar. So for most of the people, this has no importance at all, so that's why they don't do anything about it. So the second, you see, is the fear for some consequences or some threatened, yeah. So they don't do anything about it. The other one is like shame. In all the cases, is the same. The other one, she didn't know how or what to do about it. And the last one is that she thought that no one was going to believe, or if she was going to be accused, it was her fault. So this is really. And this is not exactly related about violence, but this is something I found very interesting. It's about what we were talking in some meeting about the opinion of care. Um, so almost half of women think that women that worker, that which are worker, don't take care of her uh, daughters and boys, but 70% thinks that women should be responsible, the same as men, to bring money to her home. So they accept that they need to work, they should work, but they think that they should take care of the daughters and sons. So it's kind of contradictory, right? That I have to work to get money, but if I do it, I don't take care of my children. Now, almost 40% of women agree that they should take care of sons and daughters, and of sick persons and or ill persons and old uh, family members. But 90% think that they should men should also take care of, as same as the women, of the housekeeping and taking care of the children and um, the sick persons and the old. Well, this is kind of contradictory, so that's why I'm mentioning. Okay, so this is the general thing. So we have the National Institute of Women, the Women National Institute, and you will see that they have developed a whole bunch of materials to deal with gender violence, and you will find this information in the web page. Explaining the definition, as we mentioned before, why this happens, with the conductual related to these aggressions, and then, well, you see, and also they have all the procedure explained and the causes and things like that, and also what to do by the legal issues about this, all this behavior. You can find it in the page there. And what to do, the protocol to follow, all the steps to follow about this, and so on. So I'm not going into details too long. So now I'm going to talk about what is going on in the universities. So to give you an idea, just 2 years ago, only 4 universities had protocols to attend this kind of violence. There are also some figures about this. Almost half of the students have mentioned that they suffer some kind of harassment or abuse. The National Polytechnical Institute, in a survey, they mentioned 58 girls mentioned that they have suffered some harassment by the teachers or professors, something like dating in an office or in the classroom, and then they will ask them some kind of sexual activity to get some favorable grade, for example. No? So the main characteristic of this is there's no institutional answer to all this situation, and many of the students or even the professor don't say anything because they don't want to be accused of anything or whatever. Of course, there are some protests. This year we have on March the 8th, a protest by in the psychology school. You see, they put all these things, and they also put, as you can see, some the pictures of some of the professors. And this was really, really a bad thing for the university because it was published in several newspapers and things like that. So, and I know that some students has been accused or at least have some legal problems now because of this action. And then recently, our president announced that we have a protocol for gender violence and things like that. So it works anyway. Nowadays, important universities, most of them have the protocols. You see the Colegio de México, the TEC de Monterrey, the UNAM, the Universidad de Guanajuato. Several universities now have these protocols. And here we have the Violentometro. Now it's very famous in the universities mainly. And it was designed in the Instituto Politécnico Nacional. This institute has a unidad politécnica de gestión con perspectiva de género. It is the result of a research project which started by 2009, and it's related to the relations in couples. So you see there is a scale of colors going from here to here, so like a rule, typical 30-centimeter rule, and has 3 stages of violence. So in this one, you can have jokes or chantajes. Chantajes? How do you say chantajes? Blackmail? Blackmailing, liars, to not talk about this, jealousy, make you feel guilty, right? Descalificar, okay. Offend, making you feel ridiculous, humiliant, intimidate, and things like that. So the scale is increasing. They try to control you. Now they do not allow you to see your friends, family, money, things like that. Now the second stage starts to get hotter, as you can see. So they will destroy your personal things. They will give you some with your hands. They will touch you with their hands or give you some aggressive caricias. So shoot and go. Or maybe just playing, they will hit you, or they will, I forgot the words. Pellizcar like this, and arañar, or push you, or things like that, give you some kicks in the the face, or kick you, or when you get more and more in a higher level, that you can be isolated, or they start to menace you with objects, or maybe some guns or things like that. You can get death menace, yeah, or you then get forced to have a sexual relationship, or get abused or raped. They can even mutilate, or in the last scale is just to assassinate. So this is now distributed along all over our country. And as I mentioned before, it was distributed in our university as a book market. I found now that it has been translated to some other languages. I don't know which language is this. This is Navarra in Spain. But you see that it hasn't been translated. Bascos, yeah, probably. Let me see. And there are some other violentometros like this one, virtual. So this is related. I heard the story in a TED talk by this woman who got, she was filmed when she was doing, making love with her boyfriend, but then the boyfriend distributed the video and things like that, so she really had a very hard time with her family, with her friends, and things like that. And she started a campaign to change the law now to do something, to get punished if you do something like that, like distributing your photographs or films without your consent. But so this is about that. You see, this is a very similar scale. The different things that can be doing online or the social media. You can see this several places also. There is also a violentometro related to the politics. You see, this is our National Institute for Elections. So they talk about the political violence on gender basis, and also they have this scale about this, like jokes, and then ending in a feminicide, for example. And you will see this. And our network is working also with this kind of comments, as Alba mentioned. So what is the meaning of some sentences you can hear? So, oh, really, you are a physicist? You don't look like a physicist, right? So that meaning that women cannot be a physicist or something like that. So this has been done in collaboration with the Mexican Physical Society, for example. And that's it for this part. So I guess now this is open for questions. You want to show something?
La acción colectiva.
Yo quito este. Una actividad para. A ver. Questions? Something that can be done in the online, something like your image is distributed or sent or sold, no? Your images are being, yes, okay?
Lo que yo he estado haciendo estos 2 días, pero por buena razón.
Bueno. But that means in this, within a sexual context.
I think Marcia mentioned at some point something sort of similar to the No es Normal of Universidad de los Andes. that was collecting things that professors would say. I don't know where that is hosted, or is it on Facebook? What is it? Twitter? And yeah, and so what is it? You have to tag? Okay. And then so you post it with that hashtag?
Ah, ya lo puedo poner acá. Cierro. Sí, es que me tocaba para acá.
Okay.